Welcome to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise and get to the heart of what truly matters. Today, we're diving into a really crucial moment for Nigeria, the strategic choices facing opposition leaders as they gear up for the 2027 general elections. It feels like a make-or-break period.
Indeed. And this isn't just your typical party maneuvering, is it? It's about establishing the very foundation for, well, potentially a democratic renewal in Nigeria. We have some incredibly insightful analysis today from Dr. Mohammed Tumala and Dr. Umar Ardo. They lay out two very distinct, maybe even conflicting pathways for the opposition.
That's right. And for you, our mission today is really to explore this fundamental dilemma. Should the opposition coalesce under an existing, maybe more familiar party like the African Democratic Congress, or the ADC, or should they take what feels like a bolder step and try to forge an entirely new entity, the All Democratic Alliance, or ADA? Now, our sources suggest the latter, the ADA route, might actually be the stronger, more viable path in the long run, even though the ADC route has seen more initial traction, it seems.
Right.
We'll unpack the arguments for both, look at the potential pitfalls, and, why this choice could be the defining factor for Nigeria's future.
Let's set the stage for you a bit. For many Nigerians, the current political landscape, it feels like a constant state of national crisis. There's this growing frustration with governance, a sense that institutions are, well, struggling, and public trust seems to be eroding quite significantly.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
So the 2027 general elections are seen as this really decisive opportunity for the opposition, a chance to reset the country's political architecture, maybe offer a genuine alternative.
And to do that effectively, they obviously need a platform, one that's legally sound, politically robust, and strategically coherent. What's really fascinating here, and our sources reveal this, is that the opposition coalition is currently pursuing two contrasting pathways simultaneously.
It's like building two houses at once, isn't it, to see which one stands stronger in the end.
Exactly.
Precisely. So one path involves various elements of the opposition coalition trying to sort of fuse into an existing party, the African Democratic Congress, the ADC. And this was, in fact, the initial decision made by the coalition leadership.
Okay.
But the other path, strongly advocated by Dr. Umar Ardo, he's the convener of the League of Northern Democrats, involves going all out to register a brand new party, the All Democratic Alliance, ADA.
Right.
And Dr. Tumala highlights something interesting. Even though joining the ADC was the primary decision, they also approved ADA registration, kind of like a crucial safety valve.
A plan B, almost.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And both efforts are apparently underway right now.
Okay, let's unpack this ADC pathway first. We've heard it's the chosen vehicle, but Dr. Mohammed Tumala seems to be raising some serious red flags, starting with its legal standing.
Yeah, what's immediately striking here is the legal crisis stemming from how the ADC handled its recent fusing arrangements. Our sources indicate this was essentially a leadership takeover. New figures joined the party, replaced the old guard, all through some kind of deal. But Dr. Tumala points out that this action appears to have serious procedural flaws, meaning, well, they didn't seem to follow the party's own rule book for making such fundamental changes. It's like trying to change the captain of a football team mid-season without a proper vote, just by some executive decision. It immediately raises questions about legitimacy, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So
Yeah.
it's not just a technicality we're talking about. It strikes the very heart of democratic norms. Transparency, accountability within the party itself. And this is where the situation becomes, well, truly precarious for them. This transition is currently being challenged in court.
Exactly.
That creates this huge cloud of legal uncertainty over the party's leadership.
Precisely. And once a party gets embroiled in litigation over its very leadership and its internal procedures, it becomes an incredibly fragile structure. As Dr. Tumala argues, it's liable to judicial reversal, maybe a complete implosion from within, or even regulatory sanctions from INA, that's the Independent National Electoral Commission, Nigeria's electoral body.
Right, INA.
For a party aiming to mount a credible opposition challenge in a national election, I mean, such instability could be fatal. They might not even get to the starting line properly. And Dr. Umar Ardo seems to concur. He states quite bluntly that legally the ADC's recent actions are challenged in court. Full stop.
So the legal challenges are crystal clear. But let's imagine, even if those were miraculously resolved somehow, what about the ADC's political viability? What does this influx of all these powerful figures, these presidential hopefuls, mean for its actual ability to function effectively, or even to truly unite the opposition?
That's a key question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the sheer influx of powerful opposition politicians, especially these presidential hopefuls, it naturally leads to what Dr. Tumela describes as a suffocating domination.
Suffocating domination.
Yeah, of the party's structure and its discourse. Imagine a small boat suddenly trying to carry a dozen captains, right? Each with their own map, their own preferred destination. It quickly becomes overcrowded, unwieldy, and probably liable to sink, rather than sail smoothly towards any shared goal. Dr. Tamala highlights two immediate effects from this.
Okay.
First, it sows the seeds of division and dissent. You've got multiple presidential hopefuls, their supporters, all jostling for control. The party could easily become an incubator for intra-party rivalries. That leads to premature contestation, factional instability, and ultimately weak internal coherence.
Not a good look.
Not at all. And second, it risks the marginalization of independents and, maybe more importantly, aspiring new leaders. Ordinary party members, emerging leaders, alternative voices, they might find themselves struggling for relevance. That could lead to exclusion, alienation, and just deep frustration.
That sounds like a recipe for internal chaos, really.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ardo seems to echo these concerns, noting the ADC is suffocatingly dominated by presidential candidates and their supporters.
Sorry.
He says it's sowing seeds for discord and forcing independent members to struggle for space. But just playing devil's advocate for a moment.
Go on.
From a strategic perspective, wouldn't a party packed with many well-known presidential hopefuls, at least initially, grab more attention? Is there any argument in our sources that this domination could be a short-term asset, even if it creates long-term problems?
That's a fair question to ask. And while some might hope for that initial burst of attention, the analysis from Dr. Tumela actually suggests the exact opposite is likely. He argues that what would result is a party pretty much devoid of a collective vision, hijacked purely by ambition rather than being genuinely anchored in some unifying ideology.
Right. Ambition over ideology.
Exactly. And in that kind of climate, grassroots mobilization just becomes fragmented, internal cohesion breaks down. Public perception suffers hugely. The ADC, in the scenario Dr. Tumela paints, would move from being this prospective platform for democratic opposition to becoming basically just an arena of elite conflict.
Which is, as you said, a far cry from what the Nigerian electorate seems to be demanding right now. So what we're seeing here, Dr. Tumela lays it out, is this crucial distinction. Is the opposition merely looking for an available party, something quick?
Yeah.
Or are they truly seeking a viable one that can last? And this leads us directly to the alternative, doesn't it? The All-Democratic Alliance, ADA. Given all these significant challenges with the ADC, where does ADA truly come into play as a compelling solution?
It emerges as exactly that, a compelling and perhaps necessary solution given the context of ADC's legal fragility and its political incoherence. Now, ADA is still undergoing registration, we should stress that, but it's being designed from scratch.
A clean slate.
A clean legal slate, exactly, and hopefully an inclusive political architecture. This raises an important question for you. What exactly does that mean for its potential compared to the ADC?
Well, according to Dr. Tumela, it means ADA carries none of that baggage. No past factionalism, no pre-existing elite dominance, no structural debt from messy previous arrangements. This fresh start allows it potentially to do a few key things.
Such as?
1, build deliberate institutional structures that truly reflect transparency, equity, and genuinely democratic internal processes from the ground up.
Okay.
2, attract a new generation of leaders and citizens, people who are deeply frustrated by the dysfunction of these legacy parties and are looking for something truly different.
A real alternative.
And 3, unify opposition groups under a common agenda without privileging any single presidential candidate or faction right from day one.
And Dr. Ardo seems notably optimistic about AD. He even extends kudos to INC for the speedy responses since AD submitted its application. He expresses hope they'll soon conclude the registration of ADA.
That sounds promising.
Dr. Tumela also believes that if AD fulfills all the legal requirements, there's really no reason it won't be registered by INE.
So, assuming it gets registered, what's the bigger vision for ADA? How does it plan to differentiate itself as a truly viable option, not just another party?
Dr. Tamala suggests it would represent the most viable platform for opposition parties and actors to rally around. Not just for contesting elections, mind you, but for redefining the very practice and purpose of political engagement in Nigeria.
Redefining politics itself. That's ambitious.
It is. Both Dr. Tumala and Dr. Ardo refer to ADA as the real rescue political party, or the most promising and legitimate alternative. They're painting a picture of ADA as a truly grassroots, people-driven movement rather than just another elite-driven takeover we've seen before.
And crucially for ADA, its path to becoming this viable platform really hinges on getting registered. We actually have an update from INES itself that sheds some light on this very process. And it looks kind of promising for a new, well-structured party like ADA might aim to be.
Yes, there's a press release from the Independent National Electoral Commission, dated Thursday, July 10th, 2025. It provides a further update on political party registration. It states that the commission has received additional requests from associations seeking registration. 7 more applications since last week, bringing the total to 129.
Wow, 129.
A lot of interest, and it says all these requests are being processed, which means INSA is actively engaged in this. It's not just sitting on them.
And this is interesting, too, because INAs is apparently working to make this whole process smoother and faster, right?
Yeah.
That has to be good news for any new party trying to get registered properly.
That's correct. The Commission is introducing a new political party registration portal. It includes a module in their party financial reporting and auditing system, or PFRAS, they call it.
PFRAS, okay.
The idea is to make the entire process faster and more seamless. They plan to conduct final testing apparently next week before deployment. After that, the next steps for associations to meet requirements and proceed to the application stage will be announced. Guidelines for filing using PFRAS will also be issued.
So it all points towards a structured, ongoing process for new party registrations.
Exactly. Which aligns perfectly with ADA's current status and its potential pathway forward.
So bringing it all together, the really apt question for Nigeria's opposition, it seems, is no longer just about which party is simply available, which one they can quickly jump into, but rather which platform is truly viable for the long haul, for actually achieving change.
It's a pattern we see time and again, unfortunately. Political history, both in Nigeria and globally, is just filled with examples of opposition coalitions collapsing, not usually due to a lack of vision, but often because of weak institutional platforms compromised by legal battles and, well, elite infighting.
And Dr. Tamala warns quite starkly that the ADC, in its present form, seems to be heading directly in that direction. His argument is essentially that investing in ADC now is like building on a fractured foundation, one that's already riddled with litigation, dominated by conflicting ambitions, and effectively closed off to the new, emergent political voices that are so desperately needed.
A sober analysis, as presented in our sources, really points to one fundamental truth, or at least a strong argument. The ADC, as it stands, looks politically unviable as a vehicle for credible opposition in 2027. In contrast, ADA, if registered, emerges as the most promising and legitimate alternative for Nigeria's opposition to regroup, reinvent, and potentially reclaim power through genuinely democratic means.
So this suggests that rallying around AD isn't just about choosing a different name or logo. It's about consciously building a brand new foundation, one that ideally genuinely reflects the aspirations of the people, upholds the principles of democracy, and meets the strategic needs of the 2027 elections for lasting change.
Absolutely. The opposition in Nigeria, our sources argue, must realize that 2027 isn't just another election cycle. It's not simply an opportunity to remove a particular leader from power. It's being framed as a referendum on the very direction of the country itself.
A critical juncture.
A critical juncture. And it cannot be approached with recycled platforms or structures that are already contested and, frankly, unstable.
The ADC, our sources suggest, might present an illusion of readiness, maybe a quick fix on the surface. But beneath that surface, it's described as a house fraught with uncertainty and divided against itself, legally uncertain and politically incoherent.
ADA, in contrast, offers that potential fresh start, a credible structure, hopefully, and a unifying spirit. If it gets registered, it becomes not only arguably the most suitable platform for opposition politics, but potentially, as our sources put it, the rescue party that the Nigerian democracy so desperately needs right now.
The choice, as presented by Dr. Tumal anyway, seems clear. The future, he concludes, belongs not to those who just recycle dysfunction, but to those who dare to reimagine political purpose through innovation, legality, boldness, and inclusiveness. And in that future, ADA stands as the real alternative, not just in name, but in vision, mission, structure, and spirit. Is that the argument?
It really raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider, doesn't it? In any significant movement for change, anywhere in the world, really, how crucial is that foundational structure? Even when speed seems like the overwhelming priority, when everyone wants things to happen now.
Right. The temptation to cut corners.
Exactly. What hidden costs might be incurred down the line by prioritizing that expediency over soundness in the long run?
That's a powerful thought to leave you with, and one that definitely resonates far beyond Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this has given you a clearer, more informed perspective on this absolutely critical strategic choice facing Nigeria's future.